A visit to the ancient city of Djémila, Algeria. And there you are, intent, faced by the stones and the silence, as the day passes and the mountains grow bigger as they turn violet, but the wind blows across the plateau of Djemila. In this great confusion of wind and of the sun which fills the ruins with light, something is forged which gives to man a sense of his identity with the solitude and the silence of the dead city. Djemila was founded primarily as a military garrison by the Romans who settled this area about AD 96, perhaps on an existing village. The local name of Cuicul was used at this time. It was part of a network of Roman towns in the region. Set on a hillside with panoramic views, Djemila is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for being an interesting example of Roman town planning adapted to a mountain location. It is simply one of the most beautiful of intact Roman settlements in the world. The main organizing feature of the town is the Cardo Maximus, the wide main street running north to south. The area at the north was developed first. Public activities are accessed from this street, creating a unified, fluid, and efficient city plan. A spacious forum is located on the east side of the Cardo Maximus, with access also to the civic basilica, curia, Capitoline temples, fountain, markets, baths, and a latrine, forming a contiguous civic center occupying about 1/10 of the area of Djemila. This forum is the heart of the original settlement. The paved area is about 48 meters by 44 meters and serves as the judicial, civic, and religious center of the city. The commercial area, the market, is adjacent to the forum. In the northeast corner, in front of the Capitoline temple, sits an altar from the 3rd century. It has carvings in relief, one side featuring a face entwined with vegetation, and another shows the visual elements involved in a sacrifice. Only the foundations remain from this temple, dedicated to the 3 main gods of the town, Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva. Looking north at the arch on the Cardo Maximus, we notice that the street takes a 10-degree turn to better conform to the natural geography of the site. Along the street, we see the elegant porticos of houses and temples lining the street, and then uphill to the south, added in the 3rd and 4th century as the city grew to a maximum population of about 12,000. The market of Cosenius, near the forum, has a central fountain and 18 shop counters around the perimeter. It also features a measurement table and public set of weights, probably mounted to the wall. Because of the constraints of the site, side streets intersecting the Cardo Maximus meet at right angles, but are short, and do not form a regular grid, and the size of the blocks vary. It is a relaxed version of the typically orthogonal blocks common in Roman town planning. On a side street north of the forum, the well-preserved public latrine has 14 stone seats above a drain and running water for washing up, supplied by the adjacent public baths. The north gate marked this end of the town. The pathway leads to the valley and joins the main road. Arriving from Sétif, the south gate was part of the defensive circuit of the original Roman settlement. Moving south from this gate, we see the Severan Forum, the heart of the new city from the 3rd and 4th century, and the Arch of Caracalla. Constructed in 216 by the people of Cuicul to honor the reigning emperor Caracalla, his mother Julia Domna, and his father, the deceased emperor Septimus Severus, and their statues would have stood on the statue bases that still crown the arch. The Severan Forum is an irregular quadrilateral of more than 3,000 square meters and is surrounded by some of the more famous monuments of the city. The temple to the imperial family of the Severi, the gens Septimia, was dedicated in 229. The paved forum, dominated by the Arch of Caracalla, surrounded by the refined architectural elements and vistas of distant hills, this new public square is a dramatic example of Roman city planning. A monumental stairway leads to a large platform bordered with porticos. Another 13 steps lead up to the imperial family temple with 10-meter-tall Corinthian-style columns. Colossal sculpted heads of Septimus Severus and his wife Julia Domna, now in the museum, were found here. Entry to the inner chamber or cella was through heavy double doors. These were supported on wheels. Curved tracks can be seen in the floor. Storerooms in the basement can be accessed through arched openings on either side of the stair. At the eastern corner of the forum, a path leads to the theatre. It dates from the 2nd century and is set into the side of the hill overlooking the valley. It could seat about 3,000 spectators, or, as Roman planning rules dictate, about 1/3 of the population of the city. It was very unusual because it was built outside the city walls. Public access to water was provided at several fountains located throughout the city. The great baths were located along the extended Cardo Maximus in the southwestern part of the city. The complex was built in 183 and predates the Severan Forum. It has a symmetrical plan and some level changes to fit the contours of the site. It includes a latrine area, gymnasium, change rooms, cold, warm, and hot plunge baths, and a sauna, as well as cisterns which supplied the city at a lower elevation with water. Beautiful mosaics covered the floors. Some remain in situ. The finest have been relocated to the museum. By the end of the 4th century, the Christian quarter had extended the city to the south, covering the hill behind the Severan temple. At the summit were a cluster of buildings serving as a religious center. It included housing for the bishop and clergy, a Christian chapel, a baptistry and baths, as well as 2 basilicas. In 431, the area was occupied by the Vandals, and a century later it was conquered by the Byzantines. Some of the southern areas and churches were restored, but the original northern parts of the city were left as ruins. By the end of the 6th century, it was abandoned.